Hi, this is Rgonax, and we talk about things that don't matter. Among the new games that I play, Tekken 8 is probably the game that I play the most, especially recently. This might be somewhat of a surprise to some of the viewers, since the majority of my channel mostly focuses about Valve and their games. But of course, I'm a human being and I'm a human gamer. That means I play other games. And of the games that I play, I enjoy playing fighting games. And of the fighting games that I enjoy playing, I enjoy Tekken the most. I made a video a while back talking about how fighting games affected me growing up. These games legitimately formed part of my personality, at least in some small part growing up, and they still do even up to this day. And now, my favorite fighting game, Tekken 8, is getting a big update rather soon, and I want to talk about some of the stuff coming to the game. I understand that a lot of my audience isn't exactly well versed in fighting games, so I'll talk about the game in such a way that isn't super technical, nor requires a lot of fighting game knowledge or experience on part of the viewer. So even if you, dear internet wanderer, don't play fighting games, you can at least learn something or take away something from this video, or at least I'll try my best. I'll cover some context real quick. Tekken 8 is a 3D fighting game. What separates Tekken from other traditional 2D fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat is the fact that your character can sidestep, moving in or out of the background. In other words, you have a lot of options in terms of movement, and just like any other fighting game, you hit each other with your fists and legs until your health bar reaches 0. Tekken 8 is considered to be one of the big 3 in the fighting game world, the other two being Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. And all 3 of these games released new sequels, all roughly within the same time. In other words, fighting game fans had a lot to be excited about. Tekken 8 was the latest release of these big 3, and for the most part, it is a major success. It had an amazing launch. The game did extraordinarily well early in its lifespan. Sure, as time went on, it hit a few bumps, and some people are not happy with how they monetized the game, but everything else, especially as far as the game as a product is concerned, it's phenomenal. In terms of what this game has to offer as a AAA experience, especially if you yourself are not a particular fan of fighting games, there's a lot on offer here. And even if you've never played fighting games before, you can find a lot of enjoyment from Tekken 8, especially from a casual perspective. So if you've been wanting to play the game, I would highly recommend it. I'm biased, of course, but I'm also right, allegedly. Tekken 8 just celebrated its 30-year anniversary, and its Season 1 is about to wrap up, with Season 2 coming in a few months. So there's a lot to look forward to, Internet Wanderer, and I'm rather excited as to what this game has in the future. Hi Internet Wanderer, my name's Rgonax. I make video reviews, essays, commentaries, and shorts. I hope you enjoy my content enough to do all the YouTube things such as liking and subscribing, and special thanks to all the channel members who help keep the channel going. Their contributions and support mean the world to me, and it helps make sure that I keep making content. But enough of all that, let's get back to the topic at hand. So, Season 2. It's supposed to be coming sometime in late March or early April, and one of the big selling points is the return of a popular legacy character, Anna Williams, coming back as the first DLC character, with 3 more characters coming in later in the year. There's also a huge gameplay patch that's coming in to rebalance the entire game. Buffs and nerfs, you get the gist. And a lot of people have been wanting these changes, myself included. For context, I play 2 characters in Tekken 8. Well, at least I can say that I am proficient with 2 characters, those being Dragunov and Shaheen. 2 of these characters that I play are considered top tier, with my main, if that's a word, Dragunov, arguably being top 1, at best and at worst, top 3. Disclaimer, I did not pick them because of their high placements in tier lists. I picked up Shaheen because he was bottom 5 least popular, and I thought it would be funny to learn how to play him, and I've been playing Dragunov since at least the early 2010s. It's not my fault that they're top tier now. But again, this new balance update seeks to quell the top tiers. Suck it, Jin. And I'm fine with this. They are very strong, and them being nerfed allows the meta to shift, and I'm fine with that, as long as they're not too brutal with the nerfs. This next segment, I'll try to predict who the other Tekken characters might be for Season 2, so this part of the video is more so for the Tekken fans in the audience. But there's going to be 4 DLC characters. We already know who the first one is, Anna Williams. And if it's going to be following the DLC pattern of Season 1, it's safe to assume that the 4th character is going to be another guest character. The most requested character by far is Armor King, and it's safe to assume that he's probably going to be in the game. game. Will he be the DLC character 2 or 3? Possible. The Tekken developers definitely know that Armor King is probably the most popular DLC character ever, especially from the last game, so they would be a fool not to add him. And according to the developer livestream, they stated that one of the characters that they're going to add is going to be a Tekken original. That means that one of these DLC characters is going to be an original character. Now, that's iffy because does that also count for guest characters? Because if they plopped in, I don't know, Goku or something as a hypothetical guest character, that would be a Tekken original because he does not exist. But let's assume that the DLC character is excluded from this rule. So meaning, of the 4 characters, we have Anna as DLC 1, guest character as DLC 4, and 2 unknowns for DLC 2 and 3. That means one of them is going to be this original character. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, DLC 2 is going to be this original character. I can't really predict who it's going to be because it could be literally anybody, since it is going to be a new character. But for DLC 3, I think they're going to go with a hype reveal. That's kind of what they did with Heihachi in Season 1. For the non-fighting game players in the audience, Heihachi Mishima is one of the faces and mascots of the Tekken franchises. Everybody assumed that he died in Tekken 7, but in classic fighting game story, where the story has no meaning and nobody ever dies, he came back, and people were hyped for his return. I would highly recommend you go watch his trailer. In fact, just watch all the Tekken character trailers. They're all amazing. So, going by that logic, that means DLC 3 is gonna be a hype reveal. Now, Armor King would fit into that slot nicely, and honestly, if you asked me, I would like Armor King to be DLC 3. But I do have some evidence that points it not to being Armor King. This is me purely going off a hunch, but I think there's some validity to this. I think DLC 3 might be Ogre. Why? Well, I only have one piece of evidence, but I think it's quite compelling. You see, in the Tekken 8 story mode, there's a bunch of cutscenes in the game, right? And in one of those cutscenes, you see Ogre. For those who don't know, Ogre was the main bad guy in Tekken 3. He's been gone for most of the other games, but he was a pretty big deal in the third game. And he appears in a cutscene in the story mode. And this isn't a cutscene that they reused from 3. No, this is a brand new model, meaning that they already have the files for Ogre in their game. Sure, it's in a CGI cutscene, but the CGI cutscenes in the game still use the in-game models, meaning that there's already an in-game model of Ogre somewhere in the game files. Why wouldn't they just reuse that for Ogre? And that's pretty much all I really have to go off of. It could be Ogre purely just because I think his in-game model is already in the game. Would I prefer Ogre over Armor King? Hell no, but it's a possibility, and I'm just letting you guys know in case that does end up happening. As for who the guest character could be, I only really have 2 predictions. Number 1, it might be a character from Street Fighter, probably either Ken or Ryu. Why? Well, because Street Fighter is just a huge fighting game, and they've done collabs in the past. Having a Street Fighter character in Tekken, purely as a guest character, none of this Akuma bullshit, would be huge for the game. And the reason that I think it's either going to be Ryu or Ken is because they had Akuma in Tekken 7, and Akuma shares a lot of moves with Ken and Ryu, so they can repurpose some of those animations for Ken and Ryu, throw in some extra new moves exclusive for that new character, and voila, you have a new guest character. That's guest character possibility number 1, and the other guest character possibility could be Akira from Virtua Fighter, purely just because Virtua Fighter has a new game coming out rather soon, and it would be a good way to boost and market the game to a wider audience. Sure, Virtua Fighter is a competitor for Tekken, so I don't know if Sega would actually want to do that, but it's possible. Given that the last guest character that they released for Tekken was Clive from Final Fantasy XVI, and according to the Tekken developer stream, whenever they make collaborations like this, they have to do it 2 years in advance. So safe to assume that whoever the Tekken developers have in mind as their guest character, they've already probably started working on whoever whoever that guest character would be. It's only a matter of time when they reveal who it is. Personally, my money is on Ryu from Street Fighter. And now I'm just gonna try to spend the rest of this video trying to convince you, dear viewer, to give fighting games, and especially Tekken, a try. You see, fighting games are scary, there's no doubt about that. But honestly, if you have played any competitive multiplayer game at any point in your life, especially if you're a Valve fan, so that's like Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike, or Dota, if you played any of these games, even somewhat seriously, then you can learn and play fighting games. Fighting games are great because I enjoy competitive games. I do. But I don't want them to take super long. Dota and Counter-Strike matches can last anywhere between 30 minutes to more than an hour, depending on the game. The ranked mode in Tekken 8, it's a best of 3. It lasts 3 minutes, 6 minutes at the absolute most. All of the competitive rush for a competitive game with none of the time sink commitment. It just gets me that rush of being able to best and beat an opponent without having to take super long. And honestly, any of the fighting games can work if you really want them to. But I think as a casual viewer and enjoyer of these games, Tekken is the perfect balance of spectacle, balance, and just overall presentation, I would have to say. But I wouldn't fault you if you wanted to play other fighting games like Street Fighter 6 or Guilty Gear. Just don't touch Mortal Kombat, please. There's a reason that those brutal fatalities have millions of views, because people buy these games just for those brutal fatality animations and never touch the game ever again. One new feature that they're adding to Season 2 of Tekken 8 is this feature called Ghost versus Ghost Battle. In other words, whenever you play Tekken, the game will record your tendencies and basically make an AI fighter that mimics your style of play. Every player has a ghost. You can fight your own ghost right now in Tekken 8, and in this new update, they're going to allow your ghost to fight other people's ghosts. And depending on how well the system is implemented, I might start doing content covering that, or at the very least live streams, watching my ghost fight other people's ghosts. And if you're interested, to those in the audience, maybe I can start like a ghost fight club, where I'll add your ghost and it'll fight my ghost, or viewer will fight another viewer's ghost. Who knows? It's just interesting, honestly. I completely realize that this video has absolutely nothing to do with what my channel is known for. And don't get it twisted. I enjoy fighting games, but I still very much enjoy Valve games. I also just wanted to sprinkle in some of my other hobbies into the channel. I know that this video probably won't get a lot of views, and that's fine, but I just wanted to talk about one of my passions, and honestly, who can blame me? I've been seeing a lot of comments of people recognizing that I use a lot of fighting game music in the background of my other videos, and those other people do recognize that, yeah, these are fighting game songs and they're amazing. And if you're one of those people who recognize them, you're great, you're awesome. Shout out to you guys. Don't you worry, I have a lot more videos coming up in the pipeline, but I thought I'd just cover this topic because, hey, it's something I enjoy. So, thanks for watching, Internet Wanderer. I'll see you out there, and hopefully, if you want to play Tekken, I don't know, hit me up in the comments section. Anyway, that's it for now, Internet Wanderer. Do the YouTube things.